I believe we as Africans can solve our problems. I believe that we have solutions. We just need to look deep within, figure out ways to expand and scale them.
Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Connecting the Dots, a conversation with change makers in the energy sector. My name is Emmanuel Terwase, the host of this podcast. Today we have Emmanuel with us. He's the founder of Boost Power. Recognizing the urgent need for sustainable energy solutions, Emmanuel launched Boost Power, a clean energy startup that builds and operates solar microgrids in underserved market communities. Welcome to Connecting the Dots, Emmanuel. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining. Could you please tell us a bit more about your background and what inspired you to launch Boost Power?
My name is Emmanuel Terwase, founder of Boost Power. So my journey actually started as a student of Federal University of Technology, where I was part of a student organization called Economies, student organization that brings together students to solve global problems. We engage in needs assessments, figure out problems in communities, and try to solve them using entrepreneurship. So this was how I started. In one of those needs assessments, we discovered a particular community, Eziobodo, which is just very close to our school. During that needs assessment, we figured out that the community didn't have access to electricity, the market specifically. And I had a particular touching story about Mama Chinenye. She's a mother of 5 and who just lost her husband a few months before we met her. She was trading in the markets and she was struggling to actually make ends meet because she was spending a whole lot on fueling her generator sets. Whenever it was bad, she resorted to candles and kerosene lanterns that was actually endangering her health. So after this conversation, this team got together to solve that problem. We deployed a very small solar system that powered not just Mama Chinenye, but a couple of other traders in the markets. We gave them electricity. But I discovered something that it wasn't only just Mama Chinenye or the traders in Eziobodo markets, but the statistics were staggering. 600 million people in Africa lack access to electricity. So figured out that in Nigeria, over 80 million of those also lack access to electricity. And then statistics by Olon and Boston Consulting Group stated that $14 billion was lost in sales by small and medium enterprises as a result of limited access to electricity. These statistics and the stories of Mama Chinenye and several others was actually what inspired us to actually start Boost Power.
That's really interesting. So from that perspective, do you have any ideas on how much the specific client you mentioned, Mama Chinenye, was spending on alternative sources of electricity?
So this was in 2019, just before COVID. So around that time, she was paying over 500 naira on a daily basis.
Wow.
So this was huge then. So that was the amount she was actually spending on a daily basis to power her generator sets. I think as at then, fuel price was around 120 or 160 naira then.
Okay.
So that was the fuel prices at that time.
When Boost Power got involved, what's the number as far as how much was she now spending with the Boost Power solution?
This was before Boost Power. Mama Chinenye's story was before Boost Power. But right now, a couple of other traders who were almost spending almost the same thing. Right now, they're spending just a little bit above 200 naira daily for their subscriptions, saving them a huge cost in petrol cost.
Not to mention the societal and also the environmental cost savings as well.
Exactly.
Great. All right, so tell me a bit more about this club in, I guess that's Federal University of Technology in Owerri. Tell me more about some of the other solutions that the club came up with as part of the initiative that Next Year is working on. We're working with the Nigeria Wind Energy Council to focus on making wind more popular among student clubs in the university as a way to ensure that we have young people who understand what the potential of wind could be for the Nigeria power grid. So tell me a bit more about this club and the origin of it.
Okay, Enactus is actually a global organization present. It started in the US. It's currently present in currently over 50 countries. Nigeria has a branch that is currently in over 20 universities across Nigeria. The organization actually engages in projects. So every year we identify problems across communities around the students, and then we try to solve them using entrepreneurship. We engage in projects around water filtration for communities. We engaged in electrification projects. We also engaged in a particular project around sustainable delivery of products. So we are using bicycles to deliver products to communities, helping vendors actually deliver their products. We had plans to actually start using e-bikes and all. So we solve global problems using local solutions. That was what the organization does. And then every year, students come together from across the country to present their solutions in what we call the Enactus National Competition, where the top teams are selected and awarded, and then they represent the country at the Enactus World Cup, in whichever country is selected to host the Enactus World Cup.
And so what we call that approach at the firm is global, using global practices for local problems. So this is quite interesting and aligns with some of the things that we're doing at Next Year. Given that energy is a capital intensive sector, there were definitely challenges around how to execute for Boost Power. What partnerships or support helped bring your firm to light? Who were your early supporters?
Yes, you're very right. Energy is quite capital intensive. So at the early stages, we are incredibly fortunate to join a particular incubation program, which was a partnership between the Clean Technology Hub in Abuja and Olon. So Olon is a Shell-backed impact investor. So they had a collaboration then, which they created an incubation program, a 6 months incubation program. We are fortunate to be part of that incubation program, and we were able to raise seed capital after that. So that's actually helped us in the early stages to actually test out our solution, test out our model. So we have also been fortunate to be supported by platforms like Africa Energy Forum and the Youth Energy Summit, provided a platform for us to connect with technology providers and several other partnerships as well. So these key partnerships have been pivotal for us.
Could you tell me a little bit more about the incubation that Allon provided? What did that look like? Was it working with technical team members to help bring the idea to light, or did they help you find financing, or did they do some coaching? What was that like? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Okay, so the All-On Incubation Program was specifically focused on coaching young founders. So these were founders who just had ideas, who were trying to execute something in the energy space. And they brought us together, taught us a whole lot about financing, taught us about operational due diligence, how to pitch to investors. And then it all culminated into an investor pitch where we pitched in front of investors. About 7 teams actually came out with $10,000 in grants funding to execute their ideas. So that was how the program was structured.
And how many companies were part of it, and then how many people actually how many of those firms got selected?
So I think in the early days, there were a lot of applications for the incubation program. I think we were about 17 teams in the incubation program. But towards the end, okay, all 17 teams pitched, but 7 were selected to actually be beneficiaries of the grants.
Oh, great. Okay, good. No, I'm asking specific questions because from a point of view of trying to get more renewable energy companies in the sector, this is a really good approach and it's something that should be replicated. Given the statistics you just mentioned earlier, that 600 million people do not have access to power on the continent. My question to you is, do you think that programs like this should be increased by other development partners or other financiers and venture funds in order to hopefully try to bridge the gap? What do you think?
For me, I don't know if we would have been able to even test out our model due to the capital intensive nature of the projects we were working on, if it wasn't for that particular program and that particular seed funding. So I feel that it's actually a very, very important step. Right now, there are a couple of incubation programs, but there are very few that are actually targeted at energy and trying to solve that particular problem. So I feel that if more venture capital funds are organizing programs like this and also guiding these companies, not just in the early stages, but across stages, from when they test out their MVPs to when they're about scaling and holding their hands across different stages of the company development, it's actually be very, very helpful in trying to solve this problem we are facing.
So just talking about fit, who is your ideal market?
So for us, for our products market grid, our ideal market is a community cluster with over 100 traders and they don't have access to the grid. So there are a couple of markets who have grid access, but are also complementing that. But we try to focus on community markets that have hundreds and above traders and do not have access to the grid. Because with that, we can have a direct impact to these traders.
Interesting. So walk us through your model. You approach, let's just say for a good measure, you approach a market in the outskirts of Abuja that has these 100 traders. What's your value proposition to them? What's the payment structure and what's the timeline on how long it would take to implement your solution?
Okay. So, say we get access to a particular community, we conduct market research, we conduct our needs assessments, and we create a plan. So, say a community of 100 traders, they do not currently have access to grids. Almost all are either not trading at in the evening time or they are leveraging on petrol generators. We identify such markets. We identify if there's a community head or a market leader in that particular community, because for us it's easier to get access to the leader of the community markets, so we can easily communicate with all traders, especially during their meetings. So we figure out from them if how painful this problem is for them and then discuss on pricing plan. Most likely the opens the community market where we are currently deployed. We started at a price point of 200 naira per day for 4 hours of lighting. Each community sometimes have different needs and sometimes different pricing points. So that's what we do. We discuss with the markets, we decide on a particular pricing point, and it takes us about 6 to 7 months to actually deploy our solution.
And what's the generation fuel of choice for boost power?
So we primarily focus on solar for now. Sometimes we have backup diesel, but we primarily focus on solar. We are also looking at alternative sources like biomass and oil, but right now it's purely solar focused.
Interesting. And then just from a point of view of the pilots you've run before, specifically around the Obinze, tell us more about that and what's your future target as far as what's your growth potential over the next 12 to 18 months?
So for Obinze community, we have actually done a fantastic pilot, currently powering over 55 shops in that particular market. The traders themselves, they have seen up over 40% increase in their revenue. Someone who was making a profit of, let's say, 100,000 naira monthly is now seeing about 150,000 naira monthly because of reduction in the amount, the cost they are spending on petrol generator. So for us, we have that is actually a positive increase. Aside the environmental benefits of the pollution we are reducing due to the petrol generators, we see this as a plus. And in Obinze community, there are over 200 traders. So we are looking to actually increase our capacity and connect more traders in that particular market. But aside that, we are also exploring partnership with other communities across the Niger Delta, as well as other communities in Nigeria to deploy our solution in these markets. So we are looking at powering over 5,000 businesses in the next 2 years. So that's our target.
Interesting. And you've been able to receive seed funding for this, correct?
Yeah, that was the initial seed capital we used to test out our model in Obinze.
Great. So, given that this Connecting the Dots podcast has a global reach with audiences from policymakers to financiers to also the international development community, I'll give you a minute to pitch why an investor should look you guys up and talk to you further around trying to invest in Boost Power.
Okay, so for us at Boost Power, our vision is we are looking at a vision of a sustainably electrified and productive world. So we see a world in Africa, in Nigeria, that is sustainably electrified and productive. So that's why we are targeting businesses, empowering businesses, giving them a chance at a better life, at being productive. So most people in Nigeria and Africa, they're struggling because of electricity. over 80 million people in Nigeria lack access to electricity. We're trying to solve this by powering businesses. We have done a successful pilot at Obinze Community Market where we have powered over 55 shops who are currently seeing a 40% increase in revenue. We want to deploy this across Nigeria, across communities, across Africa. So we are inviting investors who see this as a way to impact communities as well as make profits to join us on this charge to sustainably electrify and create a productive world. Thank you.
So just piggyback on this pitch you just made, from a point of view of sustainability and a point of view of ensuring that the power is working at the level that folks would want it to, what's the reliability of your energy system?
So when it comes to reliability, we use trusted technical partners. So we have a couple of partners we actually use to deploy our systems. We leverage on people who have years of experience building energy systems. For reliability, we guarantee over 90% reliability for our customers. So most times, even during downtimes, we have backup diesel generators that help to back up the electricity during downtimes, especially when maybe battery systems are dead or during long rainy seasons. So we actually guarantee over 90% reliability for our customers.
Oh, great. That's really good to know. Then just to conclude, you plan to attend the Africa Energy Forum. What are you looking forward to at the forum, and what are some of the activities you'll be participating at the forum?
So I was invited to the last Youth Energy Summit in 2023. And for me, that was just the early stages. We hadn't even gone for, I think then we were just at 7 shops. We were just testing out our model. So for us, it was eye-opening. We saw a couple of people who had built great energy companies, and we were inspired to do more. So for me, going back to Youth Energy Summit this year, I was invited to come share my story. So I'm going there to inspire young people who are looking to come into the energy sector. I'm looking forward to young people who are actually passionate about solving energy problems, as well as showing them a roadmap of how to do it. So that's one. And for the Africa Energy Forum, I'm looking to connect with investors, with strategic partners, and also technical partners. Because there are a couple of technical partners who come there, solar system producers, inverter producers, they all come there and they showcase their innovations. I'm also looking to explore new technical systems as well.
Excellent. Then just to wrap up, what would be your ideal partners that you would like to meet at the Youth Energy Forum, if you were to, or the Africa Energy Forum, if you were to rank the folks you just mentioned from your own perspective? Are you looking more to meet investors, technical partners, or a potential team member? What's higher on your priority?
So for a conference like Africa Energy Forum, which is an international conference, so at the top of my priority will be impact investors. Second will be technical partners, as well as corporate collaborators who are looking at collaborating with us to deploy these grids in community markets. Third, we'll also be looking for strong technical team members who can help us in deployment.
That's interesting. Any final words you would like to share with us? I'm super excited that you're going to attend the Youth Energy Forum because we attended the first ones that were held earlier, and then we also were very involved in the event that was held in Lagos at Unilag. I believe that was in 2023. And it was so inspiring to see so many people come in to share to the youth and then to hear what some of the students were already involved in. It was quite impactful to see that energy, while we struggle with it at the national level, that there's a number of local solutions that are currently taking place. And it was really inspiring to hear stories such as yours. So I'm really looking forward to hearing more about these stories because some of you guys have had an extra 2 years to really incubate these ideas and to grow them out. So it's going to be really awesome to hear and to see. So just from closing words, is there anything we missed out that you would like to share with the audience? and maybe use this as a chance to drop your social media handle or where listeners could find you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So I believe we as Africans can solve our problems. I believe that we have solutions. We just need to look deep within. I also believe that there are already solutions. We just need to figure out ways to expand and scale them. So at Boost Power, not only do we market grids are not our only products. We have several other verticals. We are launching products for home solar installations as well. So for people who need to deploy solar for their homes, for their businesses, they can reach out to us. Currently, our website is boostpower.co, boostpower.co, and our social media handles are boostpower_co. So that's how anyone can reach us. Our emails are on the website, our contact details. Anyone who wants to reach out to us can do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time, Emmanuel. I'll be attending the Africa Energy Forum and also the Youth Energy Summit. So I'll be looking forward to catching up with you in Cape Town. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Looking forward to see you as well.